At a height of 5'8", he towered over most of his opponents in the bantamweight division. At his peak, he boasted an unprecedented record of 52 wins, no losses, and 51 knockouts, a win streak that sparked conversations of his standing among the greatest fighters of all time. But one loss caused his stock to drop, demoting him from the exalted status of being one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in history to that of being one of the greatest bantamweights of all time. Carlos Zarate was born on May 23, 1951, growing up mostly in the neighborhood of Tepito, a place that Zarate proudly claimed was the toughest barrio in Mexico City. The youngest among 4 brothers and 3 sisters, Carlos never had the chance to meet his father, who had passed away prior to his birth. It wasn't like most families where the youngest has it the hardest, Zarate said. We were very close. We were not the poorest people. We weren't high class, but we weren't low class. I was the privileged one. I was the one everybody looked after. His family were caretakers for a school and left Carlos in charge of telling the kids not to jump on the bars or climb over the tables. Oftentimes he had to fight with them and eventually got expelled from school. He held only one job in his life, working in a print shop when he was 15. There was a boxer there named Zorro Gonzalez, Zarate said. I got into an argument with him in an elevator, and when it stopped at the top floor, the door opened and the boss was there. He fired us both. But as soon as the elevator door closed, I got him, beat him to the punch. Tired of his constant fighting, his mother dragged him to the boxing gym, where the now 16-year-old Zarate took to the sport immediately. He won the Mexican Golden Gloves by the age of 18 and turned pro in February of 1970. Zarate feasted on the local fighters of Cuernavaca, Acapulco, Tijuana, and Mexico City for 4 years, going 30-0 with 29 knockouts. On November 23, 1974, he made his American debut against the undefeated James Martinez at the Forum in Inglewood, California. Unfortunately, the impressive outing was overshadowed by his countryman Ruben Olivares, who lost the featherweight title to Alexis Arguello. 4 months later, Zarate took on another undefeated prospect in Sacramento's Joe Guevara. In the second round, Zarate's punches pushed back Guevara's top front teeth to the point where he couldn't fully close his mouth. In the beginning of the third, Guevara bravely fought back, until he was unable to continue because of the mouth injury. Zarate later ranked Guevara as one of the toughest fighters he ever faced, stating that his left ear was ringing after being hit with a hard right cross. Zarate continued to mow down all opposition, earning a title shot against WBC bantamweight champion Rodolfo Martinez. The fight drew more than 17,000 fans at the Forum in Inglewood. The defending champion was a 3-1 underdog, and he could not hold back the inevitable coronation of Zarate as the new bantamweight king. After Zarate floored Martinez in the 5th, he knew he was superior in all facets of the game. I knew at that moment I was going to be champion, Zarate said. In the 9th, I did what I had to do. Zarate became a national hero after the win, being cheered everywhere he went in Mexico City. Rodolfo was a great champion, Zarate said. Mexico had the best bantamweight boxers at that time. 8 or 9 of the best bantamweights were Mexican. Ruben Olivares, me, Rafael Herrera, Chucho Castillo, Jose Medel, Romeo Anaya, Julio Guerrero. It was the mecca of the bantamweight division. He made 3 title defenses, and these victories put Zarate center stage for the boxing revival in Southern California. Old-timers compared him favorably with bantamweight legends Manuel Ortiz and Ruben Olivares. Promoter Don Frazier hoped to have Zarate move up in weight and challenge featherweight champion Danny Little Red Lopez. But Zarate was on a collision course with his fellow countryman and WBA bantamweight champion Alfonso Zamora. Fans could not ask for a more competitive matchup. Zamora was 29-0 all by knockout. Zarate was 45-0 with 44 knockouts. Zamora was fire, wild and reckless, while Zarate was ice, cool and calculating. It was said that the fight had as much chance of going the distance as one of Elizabeth Taylor's marriages. The bout would not be a unification battle, as there was a clause in the contract that allowed both fighters to keep their titles. But there was bad blood between both camps. Cuyo Hernandez had once managed both Zarate and Zamora. He chose Zarate over Zamora, while Zamora's father took over the reins of his son's career. Zamora Sr. saw Hernandez's shift of allegiance as a snub and threatened to spit in Cuyo's face. The tension spread to the crowd as the fight began. One fan entered the ring, and Richard Steele thought he was a streaker. Don't touch me, the man repeated before mumbling that he wanted to fight both men. Later, another man stepped inside the ring before being hauled away. We didn't take their names, one of the police officers said later. We turned them loose after they calmed down. The first guy said, quote, "God told me to do it."
They're back at it, and I imagine that disrupted their concentration a little bit. Alfonso Zamora with his back to you, screen right, the mustache, the taller. Now he has his back to you, Carlos Zarate. Jim Healy at the mic. Left hook seemed to have rocked Zarate. Well, what are the odds of this going the limit to 10 rounds? I would think the odds are very short of that happening. They may be very long. You might want 100 to 1 if you said it would go the distance. Because in 74 fights between them, these two fighters, they have scored 73 knockouts. And a good right hand by Zamora. Remember, in case you're watching the black and white, Zarate is taller, has the white stripe down the side of his pants. Zamora, solid colored red trunks. Scoring system in the state of California, the 10 must system. The winner of a round must get 10 points. The loser, anywhere 9 on down, depending on how badly he lost the round. Most rounds are 10-9, however. And now Zamora a little rocky as we're inside the final 10 seconds of this first round. There it is. Another sidelight to this fight. They both were managed at one time by the same man, Arthur Cuyo Hernandez of Mexico City. About a year ago, however, Hernandez sold Zamora. That's Zamora's screen right, fighting back off the ropes. Sold Zamora's contract to Zamora's father, Alfonso Zamora Sr., who's 65 years old. And since then, they have, that is Hernandez, Zamora's former manager, has traded some rather unkind remarks with Cuyo Hernandez. And the Mexican newspapers mainly. And there is bad blood between them. Between the father and manager of Zamora and the manager, Hernandez, of Zarate. Zarate landing again, and he's using smartly now the height and reach advantage. He's trying to keep Zamora off him. Doing a good job with the left hand, Zarate. Good ring level shot. Exactly 1 minute left. Round number 2 scheduled for 10. Nobody down. Carlos Zarate, screen left. White stripe down the side of his trunks, and Alfonso Zamora. Oh, and a left hook. A left to the chin by Zarate. Buckles Zamora. He was hurt by that punch. Zamora battles back with the left hand himself. And this almost looks like a kamikaze fight, doesn't it? Especially from Zamora's standpoint. You know, in other words, we're going to bomb away and I take you out or you take me out. 20 seconds left, round 2, scheduled for 10. Nobody down. Zarate scoring again. It's been a good round for Carlos Zarate. That's round 2. Sell tickets. Bad blood between the two managers. Cuyo Hernandez, who managed both fighters up till last year, he sold Alfonso Zamora's contract to Zamora's own father, 65-year-old Alfonso Zamora Sr., and the two managers have, as we said, been popping at each other in the Mexican newspapers ever since. Left hook, a double hook by Zarate to the chin. Exactly 1 minute left, round 3. Nobody's been down yet. Zamora hurt there and wobbled again. And rocked into the ropes. Zamora hurt again. Zamora is reeling backward now. Left hook almost drops Zamora. He's in terrible shape right now. Right hand, a short right cross to the chin, drops Zamora. In fact, I believe Zarate was sort of holding with his left hand on Zamora's shoulder, and he popped him with a short right to the chin. And that, yes, indeed, was an official knockdown, the first knockdown of the fight. So we come to the final 10 seconds of round number 3 of the scheduled 10-rounder. What do you think? Do you think it'll go 10? There's the bell. He is screen left, now screen right. The red trunks, the white stripe down the side, and he feels he has Alfonso Zamora in trouble and wants to try to finish him. Knockdown number 2 of the fight. Zamora down here just 25 seconds into round number 4. So Zamora down in the 3rd round, now down early in the 4th round. And Zarate just measuring him. He's in no hurry. What an accurate puncher Zarate is. And Zamora just nails Zarate the right to the chin. Zarate didn't even blink. Came right on coming. And Zamora's wise. He'll get off those ropes. He's going to be down again. He is down again through the ropes and hanging over. Here comes the towel thrown by his father. Here comes Zamora's father into the ring. He threw it in. The fight is over. A knockout for Zarate. But over screen right, here's referee Richard Steele. Oh, and there is the father, the fellow screen right with the glasses, held now far screen right by the officers. Now screen left here in the white shirt is Cuyo Hernandez. He is being held by 2 men. He is the manager of Zarate. Hernandez was attacked by Alfonso Zamora Sr., the 65-year-old father manager of Zamora. He came across in just a blindside surprise attack. They had to be pulled apart after Zamora Sr. had thrown in the towel when Zamora went down for the 3rd time in the fight. The 2nd time in the 4th round, his arm draped over the ropes. His father threw in the towel, and I'm sure he didn't do it deliberately, but the towel hit Zamora right in the face.
Not satisfied with the post-fight attack, Zamora Sr. went to Zarate's dressing room under the guise of wanting to check the gloves, as he believed that Zarate's hand wraps had been illegally hardened. Once there, he again attacked Cuyo Hernandez. Zarate later approached Zamora Sr. saying, quote, "I beg you to forgive me. I am very sorry that I had to hurt your son." "You are a good man," Zamora's father said, "but your trainer is a cheating son of a bitch." Zarate was now the undisputed king of the bantamweights. He began calling for either of the featherweight champions, Little Red Lopez in particular. "Lopez is strong, but clumsy," Zarate said. "There was no doubt in my mind that I could beat him." 6 months later, Zarate stopped Brazil's undefeated Danilo Batista, and by February of 1978, he was called by some writers as one of the most explosive punchers in the history of the sport. Now 48-0 with 47 knockouts, he took on the popular Alberto Davila at the Forum in Inglewood. Zarate, as always, followed his plan, starting slowly before picking up the pace around the 4th round. Davila kept the fight even until the 6th when Zarate took control. He later called Davila the toughest fighter he ever faced. 2 more title defenses followed, and Zarate began experiencing trouble making the bantamweight weight limit. He moved up in weight class, not to face Little Red Lopez, but budding Puerto Rican legend Wilfredo Gomez. Zarate trained hard for the bout, but 5 days before the fight, he claimed that he fell ill after going for a run in the rain. I asked Cuyo to cancel the fight, but was told by Gomez's manager, Yamil Chade, that because of the agreement, I would have to pay 3 times the amount I was supposed to get for the purse if I canceled. It was some kind of threat from them. For that reason, I fought. Zarate came into the initial weigh-in 2.5 pounds over the super bantamweight limit. Manager Cuyo Hernandez blamed a faulty weight scale. Zarate claimed that this was because of drinking so many fluids while battling the flu. He went into the steam room to shed the weight, but 45 minutes later, exited feeling even sicker than before. I felt really bad going into the fight, Zarate said. I had a fever.
De ambos púgiles en esta parte final del primer asalto. 40 segundos para concluir el mismo. Gancho de izquierda de Wilfredo. De acorralar Zarate en una esquina. Wilfredo no lo consigue. Pegando muy bien Gómez. Zarate sale de la esquina y lo coge con una zurda en el lado derecho del rostro de Gómez. 30 segundos para concluir el segundo asalto. ...10 segundos. Segundos para concluir el mismo. Zarate tirando zurdas. Conecta bien, muy bien Wilfredo Gómez. Leve.
50 segundos para finalizar este cuarto capítulo.
En todo momento Wilfredo Gómez tratando de girar hacia el lado derecho.
Restan 30 segundos de este capítulo. Segundos de este asalto. Y suena la campana, amigos, concluyendo este capítulo. Ambos púgiles han continuado pegándose golpes. Wilfredo dándose a respetar sobremanera. De este combate, 2. Wilfredo dominando a su antojo en este pasado cuarto asalto. Suena la chicharra, fuera los seconds de ambos púgiles y la campana para dar inicio a el quinto asalto. Condiciones. Zarate va a la lona.
Zarate's stock dropped after the defeat, as did his earning power. I would have retired if I'd beaten Gomez, Zarate said, but I couldn't live with that loss. I wanted to fight him again. My ultimate goal was to beat him. Instead, Zarate returned to the bantamweight division, making one defense before taking on stablemate Lupe Pintor. Few expected the fight to go more than 5 or 6 rounds. Pintor was once Zarate's sparring partner, and the two were never close, never speaking much despite working out at the same gym. It was said that Zarate often took advantage of the more inexperienced Pintor during their sparring sessions.
Champion, we're in the 4th round with a little less than a minute and a half to go in the round. Another left hook for the champion, a missed right hand. Pintor trying to get to the body. Both those punches missed, but were they dandies? It's amazing the speed. And remember that Pintor has never been knocked out. Pintor on the left in yellow. And from all reports, Pintor, the challenger, his first opportunity has never been on the seat of his pants. But you got an idea of the speed of the champion, Zarate. And now, Miles Lane, the referee, the district attorney, telling Pintor on the far side to keep his punches up. Less than 30 seconds left in the 4th round. And a left hook. And we have exactly 15 seconds. You cannot, he's up on his feet, 7 now, and the bout will continue. Less than 10 seconds of the 4th round. You cannot be saved by the bell. Clear after that minute's rest between rounds 4 and 5. But he has to be wondering, going down for the first time in his career that began in May 1974. This is what Pintor wants Zarate to do, to come inside. But thus far, I'd have to say Zarate got the best of it. Pintor, shorter of the two, wants him to come inside so he can hit him. Little right uppercut by Pintor. Zarate occasionally will get off balance in moving backwards. It's much easier to move forward. Those are rough punches inside. Little uppercut, right hand on the challenger, has him in trouble. He'll survive the round. Fans now hooting and hollering a little bit here. Standing room only crowd. Good punches, and now Zarate has been hurt. Zarate here in the 10th round. About 45 seconds left in the 10th round. Combination punches, and Zarate was shaken up. Pintor realizes it. What can he do with now 30 seconds to go in the 10th round? A whistling right hand, just short of the mark. By far, Pintor, the challenger's best round. Coming up to the 15-second mark of the 10th round. Neither fighter is marked. But when Zarate leads with a left and then a right hand, a left hook comes thrown by Pintor. Getting some weird combinations by the champion here in the 11th round. probably noticed there's beginning to be more daylight between the two gloves of Zarate, the champion. Arms may be getting a little tired. He blocked that left hook, as you saw. Coming up to the 10-second mark of the 11th round. We'll have a message from our stations in about 4 seconds. We'll be back. 1 minute remaining in round 12. There were two left hooks, sort of blocked from your view by the champion. Missed right uppercut, another one. Surprised the way their heads are hitting that we haven't had a cut. Not intentional butting, but they are really in close, banging away. Now there is a mouse under the left eye of Pintor on the right. Maybe a tiny cut as well. This is the 12th round, less than 30 seconds. Beautiful left hook by Zarate, but he's missing too often, a sign of tiring. But they'll get a much-needed 1 minute rest in approximately 10 seconds. And we're going to stay right here to check in on the condition of under the left eye of Pintor, the challenger. Rest period before the final 15th round. We have about a minute to go now in the 14th round. Oh! You can only compliment their trainers for getting them into condition to go this far, especially Pintor, who has had to absorb the heavier punches by the champion. Tall and lanky, Brian.
Yeah,
that is an advantage if
stuff.
you could punch.
Perfect look for a fighter. Look at that.
Oh.
This is a fight.
And now Zarate, the champion, starting to widen his stance a little bit.
Bad sign.
But he better remember that he still has the 15th round to go and not punch himself out against Pintor. The 15th round coming up. And as we said earlier, I'm surprised there haven't been cuts from occasional intentional butting. Now, 15th round, world championship at stake. Zarate in white is the champion. He won it in 1976, KOing Rodolfo Martinez. Very solid left hook by Pintor, shorter of the two. Still stiff left jabs by both bantamweights. Zarate, right with about 40 seconds left in this championship bout.
Great fight.
Now 30 seconds. Remember, except for the final round, could not have been saved by the bell. But here in the 15th, you can. So we're coming up with 15 seconds remaining.
There'll be no knockout.
No.
All right.
Zarate, if he could win, will be only his second decision. And for the first time in his brilliant career, he has gone 15 rounds. But we got to hear what the judges' scoring will be. Our Glory Harold Buck and Bob Martin is the 2-1 favorite going into this 15-round bout. And for the first time, he was forced to go the distance by a game challenger, Lupe Pintor. Now Chuck Hull with the three judges' decisions.
The winner by split decision and new bantamweight champion.
There is a tremendous upset. Lupe Pintor, at 24 years of age, has upset the great bantamweight champion in the World Boxing Council. The stablemate in Zarate is aghast. He is absolutely stunned. We are surprised, but it is a split decision when the title stays in Mexico City, but it'll be won by Guadalupe, Pintor, Guzman.
The dissenting ballot of 12 points was due to the fact that Judge Bob Martin thought the fight was to be scored using the old 5-point must system. When he discovered his mistake, his way of sorting out the problem was to double the scores for every round. Suddenly, Zarate was winning all those rounds by a margin of 10-8. Nonetheless, Zarate felt he won the fight. "I'm taking my case to the commission," he said. "I might quit." Zarate remained true to his word, retiring after the loss. He made a comeback nearly 7 years later at the age of 35 after seeing videos of featherweight champions Steve Cruz and Azuma Nelson. "I don't see the quality of fighter that was there when I was champion," Zarate said. His comeback started with easy pickings, with Zarate defeating nondescript opposition for a year and a half before he stepped up and stopped former amateur star Richard Savage in 5 rounds. In October of 1987, he traveled to Australia to take on the reigning WBC super bantamweight champion Jeff Fenech. A clash of heads brought the bout to a premature close, but Zarate was well behind on points and lost a 4-round technical decision. 4 months later, Fenech moved up in weight, and Zarate was paired with Daniel Zaragoza to fight for the vacant title. Zarate had limited success in the bout and was stopped in the 10th round. He retired for good after the bout, and 6 years later was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Zarate now lives in Mexico City, enjoying time with his 11 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. "I'm really happy," Zarate said. "I'm really happy that people still know my name and are still talking about the great Carlos Zarate, even if I finished fighting long ago."